Aaron, a beast folk of immense strength, stepped into the chamber. It was a circle of ancient, monolithic pillars that seemed to scrape the ceiling high above. As his boots touched the cold stone floor, glowing ancestral symbols began to etch themselves into the pillars, bathing the room in an ethereal, golden light. He had expected a trial of strength, a test of his fighting prowess. But what stood in the center of the room made his blood run cold. It was a single cradle, intricately carved from the same ancient wood as the great trees of his homeland. And it was empty. He froze. The air left his lungs in a sharp, painful rush. "No," he whispered, the sound swallowed by the cavernous space. He took a hesitant step forward, then another, a primal fear he hadn't felt since he was a cub gripping his chest, his family, his sons, with their wild laughter and clumsy feet, his mate. The anchor of his soul. The cradle was empty, but as he drew closer, he saw it. The small, woolen blankets inside shifted, rising and falling as if an invisible child rested there, breathing softly. A shiver traced its way down his spine. A voice echoed from the very stones around him. It was soft, ancient, and heavy with a power that vibrated in his bones. "To protect your family," it intoned, "you must first know what it means to lose them." Aaron's eyes blazed with a sudden, ferocious rage. His knuckles turned white as he clenched his fists. "Do not test me with this," he growled, his voice a low threat. "Not them," as if in response. The cradle darkened, shadows swirled within it, twisting like malevolent spirits. The visions came without warning, projected onto the stone walls around him in horrifying detail. His village, the one he had sworn to protect, was engulfed in flames. He heard the cries of his people, saw his sons calling his name, their small faces streaked with terror. He saw his mate, her arm outstretched, reaching for him through a wall of fire just before it consumed her. He knew it wasn't real. His mind screamed that it was an illusion, a cruel trick of the tower. But the fear was devastatingly real. With a guttural cry, he lunged forward, snatching the cradle and pulling it tight against his chest, shielding the phantom within it. "I fight to protect them," he roared, his voice cracking with emotion, "but not out of fear. Not out of duty. I fight for them out of love." The moment the words left his lips, the horrific illusion shattered into a million pieces of light and vanished. The cradle in his arms grew warm, then hot, before dissolving into glowing embers that swirled and sank into his skin, leaving a faint, shimmering pattern over his heart. The heavy stone door at the far end of the chamber groaned open, revealing a path forward. The tower's voice whispered one last time, no longer a challenge, but a quiet affirmation, "Then fight for love, Aaron, not because the collective demands it." He took a breath, unsteady but deep. For the first time since his trial began, he felt grounded, not in duty, but in himself, and he walked forward.